Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer Milk, 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 Milk. Good morning, Carl. Here's your breakfast. Are you guys ready for the Approach Her Now tour? That's right, Karl Jobst, law genius, pickup artist, live. We got him in Los Angeles, New York, and Vegas. Oh, man, you're going to learn so much. You are going to learn so much. You're going to have hoes in different area codes after he's done with you. Special MC, Billy Mitchell. Who knows? You might have a guest appearance by Todd Rogers. Oh, man. You know, these negotiation guys, everybody's talking about him, and everybody has their own ideas, right? What will he do? Will he run, right? That's one theory that people think, well, maybe he could do that. Well, if you file an appeal, and there's, let's give some examples of other people, right? Not of these characters here, right? Of other people that file appeals and then really don't follow through with them because they're just buying time in order to move things around, right? Buy a lot of crypto, take trips to the casino, and say that they've lost a lot of money. Right, so we can drain some bank accounts. There's people that do that for various purposes here in the U.S. There's people that travel to other countries where, these things are very hard to enforce. There's several countries out there that are beautiful. Singapore, man. Singapore is a great place. Of course, China has some great cities out there. As long as you keep your mouth shut about politics, you'll do great in China. There's Taiwan. Man, you can go to Europe. I don't know what the laws between Europe and Australia are, but you can move. You can move a la Jason Blaha, right? Jason Blaha, the other lol cow that lost a case in where was it, in Britain. And he just took off, man. He lost the case and he just said, I'm out of here. He went back to the U.S., went back to Texas. But from what I gather, if you look at Billy Mitchell's actions on the internet, right, he's just clowning Karl, right? He's got the Jobs 10% off code if you guys want that Ricky sauce. You can use that promo code he's put out there. He's been clowning him online. He's just cooking hot L's out there. And the problem here, guys, for Karl Jobst is Billy Mitchell doesn't really want anything that he has, right? Billy Mitchell could just show up, and probably his lawyers just showed up and said, our negotiation, yes, we'll take straight cash, homie. Straight cash. That's all we want. The other side has to have something that Billy Mitchell wants in order for him to, to gamble, but, some of his money away. But what does he have? I mean, these videos that he has on his channel have been viewed millions of times now, right? Everybody knows about those videos. So does it really make a difference if he takes them down now? What value does that hold, right? I mean, would you trade that, taking down videos for 200 G's, 200 large? Nah, man. Keep them up there, man. Give me the money. Give me the money. I wonder if he's going to throw a pizza party. But like I said, one of the things that could happen is we could do cross promotion here, because the only thing of value that Karl Jobst has is his audience reach right now. When you look at his background, it's not like he has a profession that Billy Mitchell wants that he could work this money off with. I mean, he's in a really weak position here, especially because if you look at Billy Mitchell's actions online, what he wants is retribution. What he wants is pain, humiliation, all the emotions that he went through while he was going through this trial and couldn't say anything. I mean, one of the things that you have to remember, the difference between these two clients, right, these two litigants, if you will, is that one had to shut up and eat crow. You just shut up, not say anything, and just listen to his lawyers. Just take it all in. He couldn't do anything. He couldn't comment. if he wanted to win the trial. He knew that was the smart thing to do. That's what the lawyers told him. That's what he did. On the other hand, you had Karl Jobst the whole time, throughout this whole litigation, couldn't keep his mouth shut. Just kept making things worse and worse and worse and worse for himself, because you can only piss a person so much off, right? At some point, it's like, dude, there's no coming back. I mean, he better hope he's not at that stage. I don't know what he could offer Billy Mitchell, right? You might think this is a joke, but this is the kind of humiliation that Billy Mitchell would trade, thousands of dollars for, because, and that's just my opinion, right? I don't know that for a fact, but Billy Mitchell doesn't need this money, right? If Karl doesn't, have a dime and never pays him anything, Billy Mitchell's life is not going to change meaningfully. Karl does need to settle this because of the future of his family, or at least he should. Running away, it doesn't matter what these his fans are telling him on the Discord or anything. Running away from this problem is not the solution. You got to face it head on, right? He's got to forget about the internet, what the internet says, and do what's best for his family. But the only thing that this man wants is retribution. What does that mean, right? Does he want him to take the channel down? Does he want a long-form video apology? Does he want a documentary? I mean, look, these are all things he can ask for. Can you imagine? Part of the deal is Karl Jobst making a long-form documentary on the greatness of Billy Mitchell, right? With a little Todd Rogers, just like he made his video, but make it all positive. I mean, it would get a lot of views. That'd be for sure, right? That would be for sure. But these are the kind of choices this man is looking at. These guys are quiet. I'm not hearing anything, about a settlement. I thought we would have heard something by now, and I'm not hearing anything. What that's telling me is that whatever position Billy Mitchell has is way out there, right? And you might think that Approacher Now Live might be a dream, but that's probably what he's asking for, right? Something to that effect. Now, if you're Karl Jobst, shoot, if you're anybody, if it was me, right? And I had to go back and do my cringe videos in order to save 200 G's, I'm doing it. I'm not going to lie. That, there's so much pride a man can have, and then there's $200,000, right? How much is pride on the internet worth, right? You could do this tour and then just disappear from online media altogether. Nobody's ever going to know anything, at least in your everyday life. It's not going to make a difference. But with somebody like Karl Jobst, who's made his whole identity about being online and wanting to be famous online, I don't think that's something he could stomach. He's between a hard and a rock place. He better hope, right? Notch comes in and says, dude, I'm just going to pay for everything. Even though you didn't tell me this was going to be about Apollo Legend, I'll still flip the bill. Can he do it? Sell his house, whatever. I guess he could, right? It's not the best thing for his family, but I guess he could. But for all of us out here, all we can do is pray that we get the Approacher Now Live tour with Karl Jobst with special guest MC Billy Mitchell. What do you think he's going to do? What kind of deal do you think he's going to cut? What do you think Billy Mitchell is asking for? Man, I can only imagine. And none of my guesses are great for Karl Jobst.